If the title made you mad, please take a breath and relax, because if you let me explain myself, you'll see that I'm actually on your side. And by the way, being demanding and critical isn't a bad thing. Ever since CS2 was released, it's faced a wave of harsh criticism, and to be fair, most of it was justified. People were rightfully upset that a new installment in their beloved series launched in an unfinished state. But here's the real question: was the outrage as warranted as it seemed? And maybe more importantly, was all that frustration even directed at the right things? Let me elaborate. The Counter-Strike community feels split down the middle. Some are happy with the new additions and updates, while others seem to criticize even the tiniest of changes. But I think it's time we asked ourselves a hard question. Is CS2 actually that bad, or are we just overreacting to everything? To answer that, let's go through some examples together. Now, I'm no stranger to criticizing Valve myself, and honestly, a lot of those complaints were fair. But today, I want to focus on something else, a different angle. Let's start with the biggest and most widely recognized issues in CS2 since launch. Of course, at the top of the list, cheaters. Then come the sub-tick system issues. And after that, we've got optimization problems, bugs, and hitbox problems. But this video isn't really about those core problems or the criticism aimed at them. What I want to talk about is the massive backlash even the smallest updates and improvements seem to spark. I'm talking about features that are actually useful and modern, but still get heat. In fact, I've been planning to make this video since April 2nd, I know, I'm a bit late. Remember the update from April 1st? The rare special item icon was changed. The next day, while scrolling through Twitter, I came across a tweet from OzniCS2 asking whether the new icon looked like a win or a loss. Of course, the replies were full of complaints, but one comment by a user named Dummy really stood out to me. Win. People are mad at the wrong thing, I swear. It's new and I like it. Someone who pulled over 30 golds last year alone. I really like it, but let's all get mad at this stupid shit rather than the lack of updates to the game and anti-cheat. He clearly liked the change, but more importantly, he pointed out something we often overlook. People are focusing their energy on stuff that really doesn't matter. And he's absolutely right. The outrage wasn't really about that icon, because seriously, how does this icon, turning into this one, impact your experience, your enjoyment, your rank, your game? It doesn't at all. And to be fair, this icon wasn't even a major controversy. Plenty of people liked it too. But it's a good example. So let's look at a few more. This kind of pointless outrage isn't just about newly added visuals. It also targets older features that are no longer in the game. Features that many didn't even notice were gone until someone brought them up. Like CL Bob. I know a lot of you still want it, but is it really that important? After every update, I still see people asking about CL Bob like it's the missing piece to world peace. Lately, the missing clan tags have also joined the list. Honestly, I didn't even realize they were gone until people pointed it out on social media. Now sure, these are simple features, probably easy for a dev or two to reintroduce, and maybe just adding them would win over a portion of the community, at least temporarily. But let's be honest, if that happened, how long until we start demanding another feature from the CS 1.6 era, one that only a handful of people even remember using? Let's not pretend this is a new thing either. There's always been a sizable portion of the Counter-Strike player base that resists change and romanticizes the past. When Source launched, many players stuck with 1.6. When CSGO came out, some stayed on Source, some on 1.6. Eventually, of course, everyone migrated to CSGO, some willingly, some reluctantly. But the pattern was always the same: bash the new game, praise the old one. And to be fair, they weren't completely wrong. Every new Counter-Strike game had flaws, missing features, bugs, growing pains. But here's the thing, looking at it from a 25-year perspective, it's clear the series always moved forward, always improved. If we had listened to the CS Source bad 1.6 forever crowd, we might still be stuck in 1.6. It makes you wonder, did Minlay and Jess Cliff get the same kind of hate back when they were working on the first CS mod? Why bother with this? Half-Life was already perfect.
2 maps and one of them is always about planting the bomb? Lame.
Now don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you're just nostalgic, but for a lot of people it's not really the games they miss, it's the times they were living in while playing them. Think back to the late CSGO era, we were all waiting for Source 2, hoping for news, craving something new, something fresher, cleaner, smoother. Now that we've sort of gotten it, yes, it has flaws, but it also has potential. So maybe instead of praising the old buy menu like it's some kind of sacred relic, or fighting over new icons, or calling new community maps gay maps as a joke that stopped being funny in 2009, maybe we could put that energy to better use. Because honestly, out of all the things people complain about in CS2, I think one of the most unfairly criticized is the addition of new skins and cases. Like it or not, skins are one of the biggest reasons why Counter-Strike became the game we know and love today. The Arms Deal update, released on August 14, 2013, didn't just add cosmetic items, it completely changed the trajectory of the game. CSGO was practically dead on arrival. Sure, the devs kept improving it over time, but let's be real, skins were the game's lifeline. They built the hype, brought in new players, fueled an entire marketplace, and gave Counter-Strike the modern identity it has today. And their influence didn't stop with CS. They became the blueprint for dozens of other games. Now here's where I want to expand the conversation just a bit. Let's talk about community influence. A lot of people say Valve doesn't listen, but the recent updates that improve CS2's feel and performance, almost all of them were a direct result of community feedback. This shows us that Valve isn't as disconnected as we sometimes think. Of course, there are people who'll say, who cares about this stuff? Just fix the anti-cheat, fix the sub-tick system, fix the servers. And they're not wrong, those are way more important. But let's be real, do you actually think the people who designed the new rare special item icon are also the ones developing the anti-cheat system? Valve isn't a one-man team, different features, different responsibilities. In fact, the community's negativity might even be scaring some devs off. There's a rumor that Valve employees get to choose which projects they work on, and if that's true, it wouldn't be surprising if some of them are quietly stepping away from CS2. And again, being critical isn't a bad thing, it's what pushes games forward, but there's a difference between being vocal and being toxic. I'm not saying we should just applaud everything Valve does like they're children, but we could be more constructive in our criticism. Counter-Strike is 25 years old and still going strong. That alone is incredible. But here's the truth, for me, nothing beats the thrill of a hard-fought CS match. No other game even comes close. Maybe the reason we complain so much is because we care so much. And that's not a bad thing either. Counter-Strike has always thrived because of its community. Modders, mappers, streamers, pros, critics, casuals, we all help shape what it is today. And maybe what CS2 needs right now isn't more hate, it's more ideas, more effort, more patience. Thanks for sticking with me, even if you didn't agree with everything I said. If you did enjoy this video, please consider subscribing. It really helps motivate me to keep making these kinds of videos. See you in the next one.